Again, an honor to be here today to celebrate the memory of our loved ones. A thought that occurs to me is that sometimes we are homesick, not actually for a place, but for a person. Our celebration today perhaps brings that home to us in a new way. As David shared from us in the book of Wisdom, the souls of the just are in the hand of God, and no torment shall come to them. They are at peace. Our faithful departed shall abide with God in love. Regardless of what you believe about the afterlife, reincarnation, or the invisible world, it remains true that those who have died are indeed carried by the living. Those who have died actively contribute to weaving the tapestry of our collective story. As long as we take the time, the important time, to remember their stories, their joys, and their sorrows, their hopes and their prayers for us, and for generations to come. Well, these loved ones, our beloved loved ones, will continue to be a part of our story. We are also reminded to live now in such a way as to provide nourishment and guidance to all those to whom we simply will not live long enough to have the privilege of ever meeting. We are destined to be included in stories that are yet to be told. The poem entitled "Gone From My Sight" was authored by the mid-19th century poet Henry Van Dyke. The poem reflects on the experience of watching a ship sail out of harbor into the vast sea. I ask you to just settle back and to receive this poem. I am standing upon the seashore. A ship at my side spreads their white sails to the moving breeze and starts for the blue ocean. They are an object of beauty and strength. I stand and watch them until at length they hang like a speck of white cloud, just where the sea and the sky come to mingle with each other. And then someone at my side says, "There, they're gone." Gone where? Gone from my sight, that is all. They are just as large in mast, hull, and spar as they were when they left my side. And they are just as able to bear their load of living freight to their destined port. Their diminished size is in me, not in them. And just at the moment when someone says, "There, they are gone," there are other eyes watching them come, and other voices ready to take up the glad shout, "Here they come." And that is dying. There are numerous metaphors for death and dying that draw on images of ocean waves, ships setting sail, all notions of crossing over. My grandmother Flynn was quite clear in her wish to have Alfred Tennyson's poem, "Crossing the Bar," definitely to be read at her funeral. It was tucked neatly into her Bible as a final wish. Easy to find. And that poem, sunset and evening star, and one clear call for me. And may there be no moaning of the bar when I put out to sea. Twilight and evening bell. And after that, the dark. And may there be no sadness of farewell when I embark. I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar. On this commemoration of all the faithful departed, All Souls Day, it is important to note that in fact, we are but a single breath away from those that we have loved in this life. And gather with kindred spirits today to remember and to celebrate the memories of our loved ones. As a faith community, we have the honor and the privilege to be walking one another home, a privilege many of us have had for many years. Dying is the ultimate passage that will forever remain a mystery. An image that comes to me that I have thought about as an adult takes me back to my childhood. It makes me think about what this passing to God might be like. When I was a child, we would go visit grandparents up in the Sandhills, a mere 140 miles away, but nonetheless, going there, couldn't get there soon enough. Coming back, I thought we were driving around the world. Back to our home in southern Nebraska. I typically, I'm sure much to my family's desire, I would fall asleep in the back seat. I'm like 4 years old, something like that. My thought about that was that I would go to sleep in the back of my parents' red and white Plymouth. And when I would wake up, I would be in my own bed. How did that happen? Obviously, as I was snuggled in the back seat, Mom or Dad would pick me up, lift me out of the car, my head cradled on their shoulder, carried into the house, placed in my own bed. And I would wake up and think about that. What an amazing experience. To fall asleep in the presence of your loved ones, to be carried to your rest, knowing on some level kind of what was happening, but nonetheless, for me as an adult, that I should be so fortunate when my time comes to have such a gentle experience. From my lips to God's ears for all of us. Call it a gate, a door, a bridge, a ship set out to sail. I ask you to think about what image works best for you today. What is the meaning of this most thin veil between our life and our death? I do believe that death is more of a passing to a life beyond our wildest imagination, as opposed to only being seen as a passing away from this life. For many, the memories that reside within each of us become a pathway to understanding this veil between our life and our death. As the lights would suggest, I'm going to ask us to quiet ourselves to allow ourselves to breathe. Allow yourself to let go of whatever is just nipping at you. Allow yourself time to remember. I walk down memory lane because I love running into you. Take a moment to still your soul, to breathe, to allow your body to relax, to simply allow this to be a time of remembrance. As we think about our loved ones who have passed, for some, the loss of our loved one came unexpectedly, and in an instant, life changed very suddenly. For others, the loss was expected, and the course of the illness was challenging, and perhaps over many months, and for some, many years. In the end, the result is the same. The ones that we have loved have physically left our side on this earth forever. Sometimes we are homesick, not for a place, but for a person. How many of us that gather to remember feel as if a significant part of us went missing at the time of our loved one's passing? How many of us, somewhat timidly, even silently, feel a oneness when we allow ourselves to acknowledge a certain yearning to be with our loved one that has died? Is there a particular memory that seems to surface and remain present for you? Perhaps it was the days just prior to the death, or to have been present at the very moment of their passing. Or did time and circumstances make it impossible for you to be there at the time of their death? Last words spoken. Words not able to be spoken. Perhaps with the passing of time, the winds of change are now allowing you to experience an inner peace and a gratitude for a vast array of lifelong memories. Perhaps it is about memories of how parents had a way of simply lighting up the holidays. Lighting up the holidays with magic. And in some of those memories are now reflected in exactly how we celebrate the holiday. Memories of a mom and dad who only wanted the very best for us and worked incredibly hard to make that happen. If the one you are remembering was your child, we acknowledge the grief that results when you lose the one that you brought to life, to remember the day that you gave life through birth or adoption to that most amazing child of yours, whom you miss very much. Perhaps you are remembering your life partner, your wife, your husband, your lover. Pause to remember the very first time that you met, the very first time that you kissed, that moment that you set eyes on that beautiful soul, and you knew that you were most definitely in love, and that you were most definitely at home in a new way for the rest of your life. Perhaps this morning, it is a memory of a grandparent, a brother, a sister, a cherished friend, and how easy and comforting it is to recall that gift of unconditional love. That significant person in your life that you knew without a doubt always had your back. Remembering truth spoken to one another. Remembering forgiveness offered and received. Remembering that one certain look, or that one certain gesture that filled you both with a shared sense of tenderness and closeness. Sometimes we are homesick, not for a place, but for a person. We live in these memories, and these memories live in us. On this day of remembrance, may we have the wisdom and the courage to know that no one is ever lost and no one is ever forgotten. From Rabbi Zalman Schachter Shalomi. Imagine these words from your loved one. It was a wonderful life. I loved, and I was loved. I sang, I heard music, I saw flowers, I saw sunrises and sunsets. I still have some concerns for people in the family, for the world, for the planet. I put them in your beloved hands. I trust that whatever in the web of life that needed me to be is now completed. I thank you for keeping me in the light, and I let go. Sometimes we are homesick, not for a place, but for a person. May the memories of our loved ones remain a blessing for all of us, for all of eternity. Amen. Again, as we gather today to remember our loved ones, we also need to remember the world around us. We are called to be a people of peace, of compassion. For the times in which we turn away from that call, Lord, have mercy. Christ, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. And we again extend our prayer into the world in which we live. Americans are growing increasingly concerned about their ability to find a good job under the current administration. According to a recent poll from the Associated Press Center for Public Affairs Research, in what is a potential warning sign for Republicans, as a promised economic boom has given way to hiring freezes and elevated inflation. God of justice, hear us. Lydia Kaiser, a 12-year-old who suffered a brain injury while protecting a younger student during mass shootings at Annunciation Church, said she is doing okay and enjoying being back in school. Lydia was one of the 30 people injured in the August shooting. She was the last of the 7 children who were injured to be discharged from Children's Hospital. Lydia reports that the school was like my home and family. This school year is Lydia's last year at Annunciation. She added, "I'm going to do everything I can to enjoy my 8th grade year." God of hope, hear us. Crucial government programs that feed families and heat homes are among those that will start to run out of money as federal government's shutdown drags on. Programs that are identified to take major hits are even though there's perhaps a bit of a reprieve here, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Programs, which helps heating costs, and Early Childhood Education Program known as Head Start. God of compassion, hear us. And may Almighty God forgive us our sin and bring us to everlasting life.